Tell them run it off.
What is going on? What is going on, everybody in the house? What is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning.
I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it off. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it off. I wake up, flex, thumb down, now check. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it off.
What is going on? What is going on? Wake up in Cleveland. Tech Thursday. Tech Thursday, not to be confused with Tech Tuesday, because sometimes we do confuse the two. But we are here. It is a beautiful, beautiful Thursday morning in Southern California. For some of us anyway. Little windy. I will admit it's a little windy. But we're in a good place. We're in a good place. Got a lot of events this coming weekend. We have a lot of events coming up this weekend. As a matter of fact, we have 14 events, which is insane. 14 events. We have 4 on Friday, and then 10 on Saturday. So we have a lot. Needless to say, I'm a little bit on the tired side, scheduling all of these things. I gotta adjust my little thing here. There we go. Bring the screen a little bigger so we can read the comments and look at the camera. Sometimes I feel like it's just too far away. Anyway, do a little room check real quick. Early room check, but that's okay. DJ Reese in the building. Cat's Groove in the building. DJ, is it Mo or is it Mo? Hilton Junga or Hunga? Yunga? It could be so many different pronunciations. Keith Just, one of my members. Ruben in the building. Raz, Roy, DJ Audio 1. That's my guy. DJ Audio 1, if you're not following DJ Audio 1 on Twitch, you should be, because he is an amazing DJ and an amazing person. So make sure you're following him. We have Alexis Pena. Philip Tan. That's my MIT brethren. Well, we're not really MIT brothers. He's MIT. I just like to believe, I'm up there with the MIT guys. Heps DJ also in the building. Yeah. So 14. Yeah, 14 events. It's been a I want to say all the way from 22, when we started doing work again. We have the benefits of a couple of things. Hi. Are you serious right now? Uh-huh. Yeah. It's 10:22. Can I get back to my show? Okay. It's okay. I got you. That's the joy, the literal joy of working from home, which is actually perfect timing, because I was talking about the pandemic and how we literally had, 0 parties for a year and a half. And then right after look, we're in Southern California. I know in some places the doors opened up much quicker than California, but in California we were some of the last people. So fortunately, when we did hit the pandemic, we didn't actually We didn't lose a lot of business because we were kind of, adamant about, not just refunding every deposit that came through the door. Um, so we had a lot of people that just postponed their events, and they were postponed, indefinitely. And we do a lot of bar and bat mitzvahs, so the benefit for us compared to other DJs out there. Uh, Let me just hit the start recording. I always forget. Um, the benefit for us was that unlike people that have weddings, let's say weddings, we can even say corporate events, but not so much corporate events, but more weddings and stuff. A lot of people might have canceled their weddings and, got married, small little quaint thing, justice of the peace type thing, whatever. Bar mitzvahs are on a huge scale. So they'll try to postpone them because, you have a year or so. They'll try to postpone these events. But one of our benefits was if a client flat out was like, we're not going to have it, it's just been too late. There's probably another sibling. And, maybe they're 2 years apart. So we had a lot of clients that were like, you know what, we're not going to have it for Ben, but we are going to have it for Dorothy. So we're just going to push over our deposit over there. So that helped us, keep business coming through the door. But because of that, we had a lot of postponements leading into, I guess, the end of 21 and then all of 22. But we still had people booking. So we were already doing way too many parties because of the ones that were postponed and the ones that were booking. The reason why I'm saying this is because we were able to capitalize on the fact that we were one of a few DJ companies out there that were actually doing the numbers that we were. If every single weekend we're doing, 8 to 10 events every Saturday night, you're going to get a lot of eyes on you. And that's what happened. Now, of course, you can't just have a lot of eyes on you and then deliver a crappy product. And that was probably the first thing. We were delivering great products. I think some of our competitors, maybe weren't operating at the same level. Maybe we weren't prepared when we got out of the pandemic to really do these events. And maybe their quality suffered. I don't know. I do know that ours was really, really good. So moving on into, the second half of 22, when you have all these eyes from 21, through, we got a lot of referrals, a lot of people, word of mouth talking about us. So it helped us in the 22. I'm not saying we're the only game in town, but my company is kind of known as the go-to. So it's really, really helped us. And the fact that, we raised our rates after the pandemic and added a lot of other, revenue generating features that are, that weren't just money grabs, but actually made sense for us as a business. So, so our profits are better too. Doesn't mean that we're living in luxury because everything else is expensive too. We are actually looking to get into another warehouse. We moved to a storage unit during the pandemic, like most people did. So we are finally at a point now where we're like, okay, it's time to go back. Mainly for one reason. It's stupid, but I've told people this. We need to be able to plug stuff in. These storage units, as good as they are, they don't have the ability. First off, maybe they're limited in space. So we have 2 storage units, but there's no power going through any of these storage units. You can jerry rig the light bulb up top, where you got your power in there, but that's it. So you're kind of stuck. Our outlet is on a timer. So every 30 minutes, the whole thing turns off. So it's not like you can just plug your uplights in and charge them and then walk away. You have to stay there for the entire time. We have a storage manager that comes in and just makes sure and prepares for the following week of our events. And it's just not enough room. We can't get through anything. Everything's a little hard to get to, and it's a little on the dark side. It's a storage unit. So we're going to be moving back into an office probably in the next month or so. Which leads me back to my point as my daughter opened the door, because even though they see me here, they see me on a microphone, they know what day it is, I got things to talk about. I got questions to ask. Meanwhile, there is a mom here. I'm not a single dad, with that single dad life. There's a mom here. So she's more than capable of going there and asking her that. Or, I don't know. Let's look at a clock. You got an iPhone. It's not like it's a secret. So that's one of those things. I found myself, my daughter's a stay at home. She does, she's homeschooled now. She wasn't homeschooled before. But the facts are, she needs to go back. Let us see her. No, Ras Roy, we're not doing all that. You don't need to see my 10-year-old. She pops in on occasion, but not today. She needs to go back to school. It's not like she's a social, introvert. She's a dancer, so she's got dance classes and all those things. She's got tons of friends. She's got Hebrew school. She's got tons of her Hebrew friends that she's been growing up with since she was 4 years old. But she's got to go. if for any reason, just to get out of my house. When I'm on my phone calls talking to clients, and my days are real busy. It is sometimes I'm on a phone call, everything's going great, and I'll just hear a random scream, her and her mom just arguing about something. And it's not like this is a small house. I mean, it's a very, very long house. I'm in a whole different area of this house. I can hear every word. So it's time for her to go. We've already got her going. She's going to middle school this coming September or August, I guess you'd have to say. She's going to end up going to the same middle school that my son went to, which is great because it's literally right around the corner. Like when we bought this house, we were very happy because the elementary school was like not just walking distance. It's like a quarter of a mile. Like we can walk to pick her up and then walk home. And then the middle school, it's like half a mile, if that. So we are very happy. We'll be very happy when she goes. And no offense, but hey, married people need private time too. And she's always home. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway. Okay. I see Priyanjani in the building. What's going on, PJ? That's my guy. Would your kids ever let you DJ their dances? So actually I've DJ'd all of their events. I've DJ'd my oldest, who's, she's in her 20s, but I DJ'd her middle school and high school. And I've never DJ'd. I've DJ'd my daughter's elementary, never DJ'd my son's middle school, which might change. But yes, they are completely fine with it. I mean, they're not embarrassed. I'm a good DJ. Yeah. And then like for my son, when we do the elementary school she used to go to, I used to have my son DJ. And the last one we did, we don't even go to that school anymore because she's homeschooled. But everybody knows I've done this elementary school forever. And the last time my son got on and he was playing some music. We were just starting out. We were playing some music and he's playing some hip hop. It's all clean. He's using my computer, so it's all clean music. But when you play for elementary schools and you have 2-year olds and you have 6-year-olds, 8-year-olds, and their parents, you have to watch what you play. But it was like right when we started. He wasn't playing anything bad. I don't even remember the song he played, but his rap song, and this lady was pissed. You can't play this stuff. How dare you? Blah blah blah. To my son, and I was like, I think I was parking the car or something like that. And I came back in. He's like, yeah, she just yelled at me, and you know. Here's the funny thing. I know that what he was playing, he didn't need to play. Like, I wouldn't have played that song. I get that, you know. However, you don't get to talk to my kid that way. So I'm going to defend my kid regardless of what he's playing because you just don't talk to him that way. So I had to pull a dad move and say, look, there's nothing he's playing that's wrong. But if you think that's okay, I think that the song is clean and there's nothing that he's playing is wrong. Well, we've never had this at this place and blah, blah. I'm like, lady, I've been doing this same party for the past, 10 years. I think I know what we have and haven't played. The song is fine. Well, maybe I won't come here anymore. And I looked at her, I'm like, that's your choice. And I said, I don't care. I don't even go to this school anymore. I have no kids here. I don't care. And I walked away. That was petty. I know it's petty, but in all honesty, I don't care. I don't care. Some of these schools, I'm basically doing for free, my kids' elementary school. The senior ones I always charge for because they were doing it for profit. Like it's for their prom or for their, homecoming. That's different. They're charging fees and tickets. So yeah, you're going to pay. When I'm doing stuff for free, all bets are off. The level of my concern drops tremendously. So, and I don't really care. And, to be honest with you, you guys are all DJs. So every so often you'll probably do something where, that it has nothing to do with like your actual business. Like the school that my kid goes to, I don't book any other events from that school. Those people, and it's nothing wrong with it, but those people can't afford me. They're going to look for somebody considerably cheaper than me when they do events, or they're going to do small events. Oh, we were having a backyard party on a Saturday night, for 4 hours. Our budget is, $600. And that's okay. I'm not trying to say, but there's a place for that. There is a person for that. It doesn't necessarily need to be me, So when we're doing those events and I know it's like that, it's not as big of a deal. I do put my, best foot forward everywhere I go, but like I am more inclined to not take events that I know are not going to generate anything. So if it's a wash, because I have other DJs, right? So if somebody books us and we're not going to generate, I'll send it to one of my other DJs so they get paid. It's a wash for us. We're not making any money off of it, but it's just, to keep the DJs or the MCs working. But if I go to a place, we do a lot of bar and bat mitzvahs. If I know the school, it's a Jewish school, I know, yeah, they're definitely going to, I'm going to make sure we're on those events because those actually generate income, so, it's really about putting your best foot forward. I mean, I just ran into this situation, with an MC of mine. He's a part-time MC now. He has an event that he had coming up in April. And he's like, oh, I got a gig for you guys. And I'm like, okay, great. So he's like, it's on this date. It's a Saturday. It's a anniversary party. I'm like, that's perfect. That's perfect. Sure. Send him my way. First of all, he sends my personal phone number, which I can't stand. There's a reason I'm a business. I have a phone. I have an office line. I got an email. I got all those things. So, handle it. She calls me, which is why I don't give out my personal, on Sunday at 9 a.m. in the morning because she's got some questions. So, anyway, I get on the phone with her. She says, oh, yeah, your guy said you're the greatest and I need to have you. And, I want to book you specifically and blah, blah, blah. And then already it's put me in a position because I didn't want to do the party, So, to make a long story short, some of these parties can take you away from your real clients. And it's important that you know where your priorities should be. So my priorities should always be on doing excellent jobs on these bar mitzvahs, because the bar mitzvah, you do a good job on the bar mitzvah, 200 people, you got, 400 eyes looking at you and probably having an event of their own. So they're going to then call and book. That's where my money is. If I'm taking some anniversary party, no matter how much they pay me, I'm not getting any residual income from that. It's just a party, So on a Friday, whatever, I'll do that party. But on a weekend, you got to prioritize what's important, which is why there's certain things we don't do on those weekends, and we've had to actually enforce this. We get a lot of schools, because it's February now, so we get a lot of schools that are trying to book their grad parties for the May, June, and they'll call and it's okay. Normally most of these parties are during the week. Great, easy enough. But then I get people that are like, oh yeah, we're having our grad party, it's on Saturday night, and I flat out tell them, said, there are no real discounts on Saturday night. You have to pay what my regular clients or my regular bookings are paying. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? I said, basically, I can't lose money on a Saturday to do your event. And I said, there's two reasons for this. One, because my entertainers know what the Saturday rates are. They're going to expect that. If I book something on a Thursday and I tell them, oh, it's only this much, they're going to be like, okay, cool. I wasn't expecting to work anyway. That's just free money. But on a Saturday, this is a lot of people, this is their livelihoods. So I can't charge some school rate. This is our school budget. This is all we have. I'm going to tell them no, and, or you have to pay more, and most of them, they kind of understand, but a lot of them try to fight back. And I'm like, it's not about you. It's about me. I'm making a selfish call. And another thing that you have to take into consideration is if you are doing that party, let's say somebody calls right now and books me for, June 10th or whatever. Okay. And school event, and I don't charge full price. What happens is I'm going to end up with more events. I'm going to get more bar mitzvahs. I'm going to get more weddings that come through a little later on. We typically book 1 to 2 years out. But because of the pandemic, we still get lots of people that book 6 months out, 3 months out. So it's just, we don't ever know what our maximum count is. But there's nothing worse than having 8 bar mitzvahs, right? So these are big events. I got to have all of our premium people on there. And then we have this random school party that doesn't matter. It's never going to generate any real extra money. And it's just weighing on us, just literally just sinking the whole ship, because maybe you needed that DJ or that MC to be on another party, or maybe you get a last minute client. We've gotten literal last minute clients that have dropped, 7,500, 10 G's on us. I booked an event for a music guy, 3 days before his event. And it was huge, Beyonce was there, people like that, so, I don't want to take a party or have to lock somebody in, like one of my MCs that are great. And then, we actually have a real client that wants that person specifically, and now I can't do it. So, you got to be smart. It took a minute to tell people this, in all honesty, because you want to do it nicely, but you want to be honest with people. Business is business. And you can't be afraid to stand by your own businesses. I had a client, they booked one of our premium packages, our guaranteed packages, which are more expensive. And sometimes they want to take that money and apply it to their whole situation. So they booked the premium package. Uh, then they were like, "Oh, we need video montage." Okay. Oh, and we need ceremony sound. Okay. Well, this is how much more it's going to cost. And then the party planner calls us, and it's like, "Well, they already paid so much to you guys, so they don't really want to pay anymore." And I just looked at her and said, "Well, that's not really the issue here. Nobody forced them to buy that package. They could have bought one of our lower packages and then added this stuff on. The package cost is the package cost. It's the package cost is there for a reason. And just because you paid more doesn't entitle you to free stuff. You still got to pay, and a lot of people just don't understand that. You still got to pay. Of course, look, I do deals. I'll give them discounts, but like you're not getting anything for free. But every situation is different. T Diesel in the building. Mixed Minister Mike, DJ Impulse, Hendrik Schultz. Got a lot of people in here. So I know I've been talking a lot in this beginning thing. So thanks for, enduring, I guess I'd have to say. Let's check out some questions real quick because, nobody wants to hear me talk about business. All these DJs and nobody wants to hear me talk about business. They need to talk about Rev 1s and Flex 4s. I'm kidding. I know it's a tech show too. Okay, I'll read the one on the bottom first. Mixed Minister Mike. Just had to send my Rev 7 in for repair for a problem out of the box. I'm now a little worried. Do you think the Rev 7 will be a reliable unit long term? I think, in all honesty, this is me being serious about this. I do believe that there were problems in some of their batches in their manufacturing. Okay. I think it's a kind of a first run defects that are happening. So, in my opinion, once you get that defect fixed, and there's a couple of issues that they are fully aware of. Once you get that defect fixed, I think you're going to be fine. You're not going to have any more problems after that. My partner had an issue with his. Got it fixed recently. Literally brought it into the Pioneer guy. Goes, "Oh yeah, I know what this says. It's this problem right here. We have to replace this, and then you're fine." So I think you're fine. In all honesty, I've now been using my board for, I don't know, over a year. And besides the one problem I had, because mine's a completely different situation than anybody else's. Mine wasn't necessarily an out of the box situation, but it's been fine. I mean, now look, here's the thing. I think with any type of controller, the question is, who knows how long you're actually going to use it for? If you're an actual DJ company and you're charging a decent rate and you're making money, I think that within the next 2 to 3 years, you'd probably be looking at something else anyway, and maybe passing that one down. Not to say that, electronics are disposable, but there's just so much gear that's out, and there's so much gear that's coming out that I know a lot of people are going to take serious looks at all of this other gear coming out. This is, I think this is going to be a pretty good year for DJ tech. I mean, last year was just okay. I think this year is going to be a really good year. It's like feast and famine. When I tell you that, like, and again, supply chain issues, I know that's an issue. But when I tell you that, like, for like 3 months straight, maybe 4 months, I'm literally asking all these people, "Hey guys, you said you had this gear coming out. Is it coming out? I need to review it. Hey guys, this, that." And it's like nothing. "Sorry, we don't know. We don't know." And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Hey, we got something we need to send you." It's that whole NAM slash, it's really NAM, I think is really the big one because NAM comes out in April. So everybody's trying to get their stuff out, February and in March. Um, it's going to be a lot that is going to be hitting around the same time, which is good and bad, but it's definitely going to be a lot. Good for you guys, bad for me. Like even right now, I have some non-DJ stuff that I need to review. Here's a perfect example. This table. This is my new power table, my standing table. So I got this. This was sent to me, and it literally couldn't come a moment sooner because I was just about to buy one. Like I was on Amazon, like clicking away, and then an email came in like, "Hey, do you want to review a product of ours?" I'm like, yes, I do. I don't review. I turn down a lot of products nowadays because it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense for the channel. But there are some products that come through, and I'm just like, look. Even as a DJ, if you're working from home, if you are if you do live streaming, things like this are amazing. Are amazing. Because now, if I want to, I can still review product because I have a camera up here. Before, everything was kind of fixed, right? So I had two different levels, one for my DJ equipment and then one for like my review stuff. So I had to grab like this higher table so I could, not higher table, but higher chair so I could sit up, so I could be available for it. Now, my feet are on the ground. That's nice. My feet on the ground. I have another thing coming which has nothing to do with DJing. Nothing at all. But it has everything to do with DJs. So, this company, it's like a Peloton competitor. Peloton's the ones who make the bikes and the treadmills, whatever. They have their own bike. So they're sending me a bike with a big ass monitor and they want me to do a review on it. I'm very happy to do that. Why? Because as DJs, I think it's very important that we stay as healthy as possible. I know that we, in general, probably don't lead the best lives. We drink a lot. We eat at wrong hours and eat whatever's available to us. Maybe when we're home, there's a lot of sitting down. I mean, I spend 5 hours just talking to clients all day, sitting down. So anything to keep us healthy, keep our cardiovascular system working properly, to allow us to lose some weight, because that is the progression of being a human being. If your body's not in motion, you will see the repercussions. So there's a bike coming, and I actually want to do a little more on fitness anyway, because I think DJs, we need to get back. Audio One's in the building right now. He'll tell you the same thing, that your health is very, very important, and it starts with you and you wanting to get better. My guy Mojax, he's on I don't know what he's doing for working out, but I know he's on the Atkins diet. That man's lost a ridiculous amount of weight. Ridiculous amount of weight. Very, very impressive. And I remember when he first started it, what a drastic change, So, but there is a risk, when you lose too much weight. You don't want to be like I'm gonna say something that only Black people may get, but Luther Vandross was a big guy, and then he did the whole stomach tie thing, whatever. Anyway, lost a ridiculous amount of weight, and when he lost all that weight, he didn't look bad. I mean, his head seemed really big, but he didn't look bad. But I don't know. It felt like his music suffered. So there's this running joke about let's play Luther Vandross. You playing Big Luther or Skinny Luther? Because that's a thing. Now, it could be just a coincidence, but it definitely is a thing. It's big Luther or skinny Luther. Okay. Uh, Going to do a bike stream, do a whole Tech Thursday while riding. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all. I might have to do that. Um, the only problem is, I guess I could put my DJIs on and talk through there. Huh. Maybe. Maybe I'll do that. uh Oh, that's funny, PJ. That's funny. Look, there's nothing, whatever weight you are, if you're happy in that weight, fine. But I think a lot of people say they're happy in that weight as an excuse because they don't want to do the work. The work is a big deal. Um, I recently, I haven't been to the gym yet since before New Year's, but I have been exercising. Um, I've been hiking with my dog. So we have these hills in the back of Simi where, they're amazing. I wish I knew about them earlier. I never went to them, but where I live, it's like 4 or 5 minutes drive with my dog to the trails, and we're talking like serious inclines and drops, and you're going through the mountains, and it's really really impressive. It's great. It's beautiful view. My dog absolutely loves it. Because he gets to go out. We walk for about an hour. It's like a 4 mile loop. Um, and It's a good time. It's a good time. You know, that's been helping a lot because because of the resistance of the hills and all that stuff. And then my dog's like a bat out of hell, so keeping up with his pace, I've actually been doing pretty well. But I do want to get back to hitting the weights though. So my plan is still going to take my dog out, on these hikes, 2 to 3 times a week. The other days I will supplement with the bike. I don't like to work out on the weekend. So basically I will, walk with the dog 3 days a week and then ride the bike on the Tuesdays and Thursdays. Huh. Deck Thursday. And then that's it. I don't like to work out over the weekend. I'm lifting speakers and all that stuff anyway, so that's enough resistance for me. Yeah, that's the plan anyway. That's the plan. And the bike, that's just the cardio plan. But also, probably 2 or 3 days out of the week, I will hit the gym. But the good news is I don't have to hit the gym for as long because I was going for like 2 hours a day because I had to add that cardio in. Now I don't. I can just get in there, do, 30, 45 minutes of resistance stuff, and then I'm good for that. So I can be in and out, which I'm excited for. Okay. Let's see. Heps DJ says, "What's up on MEX? Will we see you there?" I will be going to MEX. That is the Mobile Entertainment Expo. I might be buying another photo booth or a different photo booth. I'm still working on that. I got to figure out if I want to or not. And also, if my deal is right with Max, I might buy a furniture. Maybe. I'm not truly convinced. I just bought a new truck. So, which in case you guys were wondering, I know the next question is going to be, what is it? I bought a Ford F-150, upgrading from my Ford Ranger. So very, very excited. It's, I love it so far. The space is absolutely amazing. I did not have this kind of space in my Ranger. I knew that it's a smaller truck. I knew my family didn't really like riding in my truck, even though it was a crew cab. They didn't like riding in the back seat because there wasn't a lot of leg room. And then I get into this truck, and when I tell you that my 10-year-old has gotten into the truck and stood up and like walked around, it's great. I can lift the backs up, and it's a good this wide, like this wide. Honestly, I can put so much gear in there. So very happy. They didn't give it to me for free though, Audio One. Yeah, they made me buy it. And to be honest with you, it's not exactly the one I wanted because uh because interest rates are so high right now. Stock is so low that you're dealing with both interest rate increases and manufacturer markups. So that wiggle room is it's none. There's basically no wiggle room. And so if you go to a every Ford dealership is different. So if you go to a Ford dealership that isn't Galpin Ford, in all honesty, they raise it up. Not the manufacturer, the dealer markup is like 10 to 15,000. So you factor that 10 to 15,000, and even if they cut you a deal and knock off 5,000, that's still $10,000 that you are responsible for, and you factor in the interest. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. So I ended up going with something that was slightly less than I wanted. Nothing really like substantial. Just a couple of little things. I know what I know, but and it was my first larger truck, so I kind of went in with some reservations. But now I know what I want next time. But this one's perfect. Has the extended gas tank, which is like 32 gallons, so I can go 640 miles on a single tank of gas. Like, that's great. Now, of course, you still got to pay at the pump, and that's a little harder to see. When it's like $150, but it's all about the convenience. I looked at the Lightning. I did not buy the Lightning for two reasons. One, because yes, the markup on the Lightnings are about $20K. They did have Lightnings at my dealership. I know somebody was saying they were sold out. They only had these smaller engines, which was like, I have a cap on the bed. Yes, that is Romeo. That is 100% a must for DJs. You gotta put a tonneau cover on it, just to protect your gear. Simple as that. I didn't, but what I didn't do. So my Ranger came with the power tonneau cover. Great in theory. The problem with it is that it eats up a lot of space. Those power units are like, or even the manual one that you pull and it kind of snaps into place. That one takes up a lot of space. So, I went from like a 5-foot truck in my Ranger to a 4-foot like that. So I never really got the benefit of my actual full cargo bed. So on this one, I decided to go manual. So I got the backflip, that goes over 3 times, and then it can raise up and then cover your window, which I'm very happy with because it gives me a lot more space. Also, my truck has the towing package with the 360 cams. So I can view my truck bed from my display as I'm driving. It has a truck bed camera. Also, if I am driving, let's say, I want to see behind me a little better. If I turn on my all camera while I'm driving, it activates the backup camera. So I can see exactly what's behind me and the car to the side. So that's a really good feature. Love that. As Keith just said, as long as it has CarPlay, I will never buy a car ever again that doesn't have CarPlay. Ever. I'm stuck now. Like the one thing my car didn't have because of the pandemic was there was no Sirius. There's no Sirius in my car. But I'm like, I don't care. I have my CarPlay. I'm good. Galpin told me to order the Lightning online, and if you don't get your deposit back so you don't pay dealer markup. Hey, I mean, that's fine. But if you order online, you're going to wait even longer. Which is the only issue. Billy Lane in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you, man. That's another excellent Twitch guy, and a retailer of fine DJ and computer equipment. So you definitely want to follow Billy Lane, and he has a YouTube channel. So get on that too. Talks about DJ stuff. Says rock a Tesla Cybertruck with 2 giant Pokemon flags on the back. Um, without getting political, it's more of a personal thing. It has nothing to do with politics. I probably will never buy a Tesla. Like ever. That's just not for me. Not for me. And it has nothing to do with politics. I just don't really like the man. So there's my thing. Okay. Uh Stonia, we'll get back to you in a minute. I know there was some questions up top, so let me just get to those questions up top real quick. Ruben says, what mic stand are you using and what are its features? No features. It's just a low profile stand. It is the Elgato LP stand. That's it. I think it's like $120, if that, somewhere right around there. Low profile stand, holds the obviously the SM7B, which we know is a weighty microphone. Holds it like a champ, and kind of stays out of the way. Has a long profile arm. I can actually come all the way over to like here if I wanted to, because right now it's on the L. You can see the clip here. There's a plate that goes here. I know I dropped it to kind of prevent this wire from coming out. It's somewhere around here. I got to find it. Anyway, but great mic stand. Great mic stand. Okay. Let's see here. I know there was another one. Okay. Samuel Patterson. DJ Throwback. Do you have recommendations? Flex 4 versus Flex Rev 1. They seem to copy the same sauce business space. The same space. Actually, if I wasn't so damn busy, my video would have been out by now. I have a video on the Flex 4, which I want everybody to watch, but I will tell you this. The Flex 4, because there's no spoilers, but the Flex 4 and the Rev 1 are pretty much the same. I want to send your business cards. Lots and lots. Okay. Okay. The Flex 4 and the Rev 1 are virtually the same, price wise and all. The only difference is how you DJ. So if you like battle style, if you like paddles, the Rev 1 is the one you should buy. If you like CDJ style and 900 mixer style, then the Flex 4 is the one you should buy. That's it. That's really the biggest differences. Build wise, they're both really, really good quality. Like I have the Flex 4 here, which is right down there. And, but in all honesty, I will probably purchase a Rev 1. I don't need it, but I don't know. It's something about sitting at my desk with this small little controller off to the side. And if I want to just kind of work on a mix or just work on some transitions, something about it being there is just nice. So, I think we'll end up with a Rev 1, but honestly, they're both very, very good. Very, very good. It's for the price, Okay. Let's see here. Make sure that, when you are asking questions, you do put the hashtag ask in the chat. That's very, very important. That way I can see your question. We got Queso in the building. What's going on? And we got Mixmaster G also. Thanks for hanging out as always. Mixmaster G has some excellent digital conversion applications, not plugins, not applications. So make sure you check out the digital conversion utilities. Excellent stuff. Okay. Philip says, I've been DJing my kids' school annual fundraiser pro bono for a while, but I give them my standard rate if they want me to play their graduating class. Exactly. Mixed Minister Mike says, I've been doing elementary school fundraisers for fun for years, $200. Biggest issue is keeping the kids off of the equipment. Yeah, and even that 200 is low. Is low for me. But, I mean, I get it. It's just kind of paying for your time. So that's fine. What are your go-tos for uplighting? Thinking of Ape Lab. So the Ape Labs are great. Especially if you really invest in the Ape Labs. The Ape Labs isn't something you can just buy, one of. You have to buy a number of different things. So, like here's some Ape Lab sticks up here, 1 and 1. Then you got the maxis and the cans and stuff like that. Okay, the best thing about Ape Labs is you don't need a computer or a light app to run your lights. They will all talk to themselves and provide you with a really good lighting show. Very minimal build. Very similar to what ILS is trying to do with Chevet. They're trying to do the same thing, where you have kind of a brain and then it talks to everything else and you don't have to do anything but turn them on and let the sound activation work. Ape Labs are expensive, but their new ones, especially being, outdoor, IP rated, like that's really good. I don't personally use Ape Labs. I have, just because, for one reason is I like a little more control over my lights, and up until like recently, you really couldn't. It was either all or nothing. Now with the newer updates, you can do DMX and their lighting, proprietary lighting, but you couldn't do that before. I also didn't know about Ape Labs when I first started out, so I was using. So we went with Chevet. So I'm Chevet everything basically. I have my which ones do I use? Well, I use the Intimidator spots for my moving heads. What are my uplights? The Chevet Freedom Power hexes. So, the best that you can get from there, because it does UV, and it does everything else. So they're wireless. I used to use the Chevet Obey, the Obey DeFi to control all of my lights. Since then, obviously, I've moved to SoundSwitch and other things, but in Light Rider, but they're all good. I have the Chevet XLR DMXs, which I don't have in the house, or I would bring them to you to show you what they look like. But if you've seen like the Donner or anything like that, it's kind of like that. They're wireless XLRs. So I can put the wireless XLR 1 in my SoundSwitch, in my Control 1, or the regular box, and it will talk to everything. So truly wireless. So that's me. That's where I am. And it works for me. But I know the Ape Labs are great. I know Rachel uses the Ape Labs and she loves them. And if you're trying to make it easy for yourself, the light show you're going to get out of the Ape Labs, it's probably all you need for the most part. But I would like a little more control. And my one thing about the Ape Labs is they don't have any movers. Their lighting doesn't really work with movers, which means you have to still run DMX. And once they finally do, I know I have to look into their DMX, their application of it, because I don't know. Maybe they have something in there, but I have a hard time believing that. So that's really my only issue with it. But nothing wrong with Ape Labs. Nothing wrong at all. Don Rafa says, Grammys Hip Hop 50 salute. Thoughts? I'm going to say something here. I haven't seen it yet. In all honesty, I didn't even know the Grammys were on. Because we don't watch TV in the traditional sense anymore. You know what I mean? Like, we don't watch just like, oh, just turn on the Spectrum TV and just let it run. Like, we don't do that. Everything we watch now. I mean, if it wasn't for sports and like the Hallmark Channel, my wife would probably never watch anything. I watch my sports. She watches her Hallmark Channel. So I didn't know. I will watch it. I know it's on YouTube and stuff like that. So I'll watch it. I just haven't watched it yet. I don't know. But I will say this: anything with Busta Rhymes in it is golden for me. That's my live performing guy. Nobody better. Okay. I bought the Flex Bar from JMS. Do you know how to DMX from bar to par light that are wirelessly battery powered? DJ Gout. I bought the Versa Flex Bar from JMS. Period. I think that's supposed to be a period. Do you know on how to DMX the bar to par lights? Okay. All right. I don't know if you watched my review on the VersaFlex because I did a very, very big review on this. And what I said was, and you should watch the video anyway, because it breaks down all the stuffs that you need to know. But what I said was, it's not best for DMX. The VersaFlex is best used using their programs because there are so many DMX channels in a VersaFlex to be able to really, really control it. Because the VersaFlex has, I'm throwing numbers out here, so I could be wrong since I haven't looked at it in a while. But it has like a basic DMX, which is like 3 DMX channels, which basically means like off, on, and like and strobe. Then they have another one which is like I think around 35 or 50 channels, and then they have another one which is like it's like 80 channels. Now the problem is the 80 channel one, throwing out numbers. I guarantee you they're not right. But the largest channel one is the one where you have the most control. Because if you use the middle one, then like you can't really control the bar the proper way. And each light in that bar is like its own DMX channel. So that's like 1 on, 2 on, 3 on, 4 on. Too much work. Too much work. So I would not DMX that. Now, I think if you did, you should put that profile out there and share it to the world. Have them do like a little donation because I know that it's a big deal for a lot of people. It's not a big deal for me. I think their programs are fine. It's weird to me that SoundSwitch continues to make profiles for the gig bar move, but they won't make one for the VersaFlex. It's just very interesting to me. Anyway, there you go. Okay. Okay. Philip Tan says maybe we should have a personal trainer come up with an exercise routine using the speaker cables and flight cases we have around. That's not a bad idea. Grab a couple of those 10-inch speakers, do some curls. You actually could do a lot with your DJ system because I mean, some of these speakers, I mean, they can get up. A sub can get up to 100 pounds. So maybe you want to do some deadlifts. There's a lot of options. Okay. Eric Stone says, what are your thoughts on a virtual business address? I don't want to use my home address on my Google page, trying to have a better chance of coming up on voice searches. A lot of people use virtual addresses. I mean, right now, I'm sure this is why you're asking, but like a lot of the PO box businesses will have their address and you don't even have to put a suite number. Like you just have their address. Everything gets mailed to them. They know it's for you and they put it into your box. So I don't have a problem with that. The trick is, the only thing you don't want to do is you don't want to have an address where it continuously moves because that comes off weird. And, like licensing becomes an issue if you keep moving and then, maybe they send it to the other place and you've moved and your forwarding is not working properly, or if they won't forward, and then you're kind of in a situation. So whatever you do, just stay there have an intent on being there, 3 to 5 years. But yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, we already have virtual phone numbers. Why, what's wrong with the virtual address? We're virtual phone numbers, virtual address. We do stuff on Zoom and Google Meets and all that stuff. It's all virtual. We're barely doing any in-persons. Like I haven't been to a person's house since before the pandemic. Twice. But it was just to go outside to look at the backyard so I could tell them if we could do the party there or not. That's it. I haven't been inside anybody's house. Now, for me, I'm really good at knowing um when when uh when there's okay. So there's this sneaky little rule about why physical meetings work. And the only reason why I didn't have a problem going to clients' houses for sales calls because it allowed me to see what they were working with. If I go to your house and your house is, 6,000 square feet and you got a back house and, an acre of land and pools. This is Southern California. I know this is not the same. Like you go to Vegas, like maybe that's just like your everyday house. But like in here, your neighborhood, that's a good $1.5 million home. So I know when I walk into your $1.5 million home that if you turn around and say you give any price breaks, I'm going to say, of course not. I'm not trying to gouge them. That's not. I never had that intent. I want to sell people what I know they need to have a successful party. They decide what they want. We have a lot of things that you can have that make your party fun, but that won't change the core of the business. The core of your business, the package that you send out, which is um, specific to the party you are booking, it should be whatever it takes to make sure you, the DJ company, can have a successful event. If they want you to compromise that part, say no, because you need minimums, and those minimums are what it takes to have a successful party. So that's how I sell people. I don't upgrade. I don't upsell. I tell them what we have. They ask me about it. I tell them, what's cool or what's not, or, what's popular if they ask, but I never upsell. I think it's, I think it's in poor taste, in all honesty. I think it makes you seem like a car salesman and people get a bad taste from the mouth because of it. My prices are here. These are all my add-ons. Um, I will tell you what's the most popular. If you ask me what else do you need, I'm only going to tell you what you need. A lot of people, they'll see our package and they'll book our package and they'll say, okay, well, I'm in this place. What else do I need? And I'll say, well, do you have a party planner? No, I don't have a party planner. Okay, well, at a minimum, I think you need uplights around the room. That'll really, really help, kind of set that tone and that mood, and I'll say, do you have a montage? Yes, I do. Okay, you're probably going to need us to show it. So video projection is one of those. But before you book our video projection, if I know you are at a room that already has a built-in screen and projector, I'm not upselling you. I'm not selling you just because that's a dick move. And then it makes you seem greedy. And greedy leaves really bad taste in people's mouths because there's absolutely nothing worse than signing a contract for something and buying something, right? And there's no takes backies, right? So, and then you get to your event or you buy that car, right? And then they sold you something, told you needed it. And then you get there and you do the party and you're like, I didn't need half the stuff that person sold me. That's a bad taste in people's mouth. I don't want that. I want them to say, wow, everything they said I needed. And it was exactly what I needed. I didn't need more. So, I treat people like human beings. I know we all want to make profits and I know those add-ons are good profit margins. I know that. But if you get too pushy, it's going to come off wrong. So I don't, I just talk to people. I talk to people like I'm talking to you. And when I tell you that like my percentage of my sales rate, my closing sales rate is probably in the 90 percentile. In all honesty, I've sold clients packages and they'd never met me. They didn't see me. We didn't do a Zoom. It was just a phone call. And when a client says to you, I feel so comfortable with you. Yeah, I trust what you're saying. That's when you win. That's it. That's when you win. Treat people the way you want to be treated. In all honesty, be honest, let them know what you can and can't do, but treat people like you want to be treated. And I think you'll go far. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I want to purchase the S11, but I'm afraid of a newer version of the S series will come out. Anything you're hearing? I'm hearing about NDAs. I will tell you this. They're S11. You're good. You're good with the S11. They just did their product run, so that means the S5, S7, and S11. That's the battle mixer situation. What they need is an update for their 900 series, for their Nexus series. But that has nothing to do with their battle mixers. I think you're safe. The S9 is still kicking. And the question is always, what do you need it to do? What new features do you need? You know what I mean? Billy Lane says Record Box is is a Flex 4 exclusive. Yes, you're right. Yes, I know there's no Record Box in the Rev 1. I'm assuming that a lot of people on here are probably using Virtual DJ, and Serato. That's just my assumption. Even though Record Box is a great program, I don't think that the people on here, that's anyway. And Rev 1 does 4 decks. So there you go. Okay. All right, let's see here. My Rev 1 is under the seat in my truck at all times. That's amazing. Okay, Power Friend. I have the F Deuce SL40 mic and I'm using it via USB. I cannot seem to get the low end out of it with Marvel or filters in OBS. I have low timbre. Any low pass ideas that you know of? I know I don't go direct in any of my stuff. I have a Mixcast over here. I think that's very important to go through a mixer, when you're in OBS. I know there's so many filters in OBS. I get it. You probably have to search for a mixer filter. I know they have them. And that'll save your life. But I'm not familiar with that microphone or, your situation. So sorry, I can't help on that one. I guarantee you there's already if you just Google, I need a mixer EQ plugin for OBS. There's something that's in there, or a parametric EQ plugin, or just a low pass filter. Okay. Okay. Answered that question. All right. Dustin Masters. Any suggestions on video makers to use with a media player or Windows computer to project on a TV for weddings, such as a collage of photos from the clients and will cycle through? I don't use Windows. But what's wrong with just pulling them into Movie Maker and then just doing a quick, not even export, but just a quick play to your secondary screen? Isn't there still a Movie Maker on Windows? Just pull all the pictures in. Now, if you're talking about like a real time, the pictures just show up in the folder and then, they keep adding to it. Different story. I know there are apps for that because I used to use one on my Mac. I don't know about PC, but, oh God, it was such a long time ago. Anyway, yeah, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. I would check your Movie Maker. I mean, I tell people all the time when they're like, "Oh, I need you to do the montage." I'm like, "Why? You have iMovie. Just pull the pictures in and throw a song behind it. Done." Okay. Let's see. I guarantee you that Hip Hop Tribute is on YouTube. I guarantee you. because it's not a, I'm sure it's on VOD too, but like, and I do have, you know, I don't even know what channel it was on, but I have Hulu and I have Peacock. So I'm sure it had to be, and I have Paramount. So it had to be on one of those. So I'll check it out. I'll check it out. State Farm Jake in the building. What is going on? Okay. Matthew says, if you could add one feature to SoundSwitch, what would you add? I personally wish we had editable text configuration files. It would make copying editing so much easier. That's a good feature. I don't even need to go that deep. I just need the ability to adjust my gobo prisms and speed using just the control knobs. I want to be able to open up a prism when I want to open up a prism and change my gobos. I don't want to have to go into the settings and then do all that. I actually did this on my Tech Tuesday on Twitch this week. You know, that's probably their weakest link is, I know it's a set it in, forget it app, but we're not set it in, forget it DJs. You see what I'm saying? I think sometimes we're too smart for ourselves. And if I'm DJing, even if I have a set, I might have to deviate. I might have to do something that I didn't think I was going to be able to do. And then I can't without editing and going into my scenes. And it's just, it's a lot more work than it needs to be. So I would like a prism / gobo change setting, because let's just say, for instance, my lights are moved specifically because you can set up auto movements in SoundSwitch, right? They have their dedicated movements, figure eights, and you know, this guy and all that stuff. So that's in there. You can do that by hand. You can do that manually. And sometimes when it just seems like SoundSwitch is not communicating with Serato well, I will go to those auto movements. And sometimes I might keep them on all night. What I don't have the option to do is add in a prism, change the gobo, which is dumb to me. Just dumb. If you have the movements in there, I should be able to change my gobo too. I should be able to, if I need to, with the Control 1. I get it without the box. I get it if you're only using the regular box. I understand. With the Control 1, I should be able to plug in and still work functionally a party manually. And you can't really do it manually. So that's the weak link for me. Okay. Okay. I think what we're going to end up seeing, speaking of most DJ controllers, I think probably the biggest thing you're going to see is the inclusion of USB-C on every new piece of gear that comes out. I think Pioneer's starting it. But I think ultimately everybody else will follow suit. It was a little weird to me that the Rain 4 did not have USB-C. I just think that anything that's coming out in 23 should have it on there. We're moving forward. Every computer has USB-C now. It's an easier cable to just have one of. You know, it's the same thing for me with like Pioneer's wall warts. You know, it's like Pioneer DJs coming out with USB-C for a lot of their products. Fantastic. But then they still have non-IEC plugs for some of their products. And I do hope that I know they're moving to USB-C, so maybe this is all a moot point. Maybe it's just going to be all USB-C at certain points. But you know, that's probably their weak link. Okay. Okay. Max says Reaper has some great EQs and comps. There you go. Serato lifer, but thanks to Mixmaster GNL and his DJCU apps, I'm on Rekordbox regularly now. Yeah, I think it's very important for everybody to just use the other programs. And if you're using a computer, an actual computer, not like the not like the iPad or your phone, but if you're using a computer, once you establish your crates, like say for instance in Serato, um, even Recordbox is the weak link because you do need to use like Mixmaster's his applications for that because for whatever reason, don't know why. Hey, this is great for Mixmaster GNL, but for whatever reason, it is the only app out there that won't read your Serato crates. Both Algorithm DJ and Virtual DJ will read your crates. So if you have your stuff set up in Serato, you can just open up those other programs and work like you were in Serato. The only difference is you can't make adjustments to your crates. It's like a read-only crates, but all your files are there. Recordbox does not do that. So it is what it is. Okay. Okay. Jace Int says with the Rain controller coming out, having the Stems name branded on it, think it's a good. The Rev 7 left the Stems name off, considering future software that works the same will replace Stems. I don't think we're replacing Stems. I think Stems is the future. I think every program, I think every controller that comes out in 2023 or later absolutely needs dedicated Stems buttons. Absolutely. And I think if you don't have Stems buttons, it's going to put a big question mark over your products. Think about it. If I'm using Stems on my, and look, obviously Stems came out after the Rev 7 came out, but because they have those top buttons, I'm getting Stem features without trying. So it's a win-win. But any controller that relies upon just the pads to use your Stems that's coming up, I think it's the wrong choice. I think you need dedicated buttons. So yeah, so that answers your question. A lot of my students switched from Serato to Recordbox. They really like the DJ 400. So Philip, yeah, we talked about that when I was there. We talked to the class. Recordbox and DJ seem to be the two go-tos for most new DJs coming out. So it'll be interesting to see what happens 10 years from now. It'll be interesting to see who's the big person on top. I mean, it can truly never be DJ because they're invested into the Mac ecosystem. So for anybody that's using Windows, unless they finally decide to do some parity between their Windows version and their Mac version, it's not going to matter. But everybody has iPhones. You know, a lot of people have iPads. So I think we're going to see DJ become one of the premier apps within the next 10 to 15 years or sooner. Okay. DJ J Book in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out today. We are going to, speaking of all the S7s, we're going to take a short break so I can look and catch up with all these questions. Hold on. Okay. Dr. Stun says, how often do you get your controller serviced or any equipment? I mean, I guess it depends on how often, on how you take care of your stuff. Let's see here. The most serviced stuff that we have are speakers. You blow out an amp, you blow out a actual speaker itself. And we got to replace them. That's pretty common having amplifiers and speakers nowadays. Strangely enough, I never had to service my externals like my QSC, uh, like the RMX 4050 and the 2450s that I had when I used to run passive systems. Never had to service one amplifier. I've had to service um, lots of Eon servicing for whatever reason. Um, had to service one SRX high, but I think it was dropped. But yes, the Eons definitely their amplifiers and their tweeters. Um, I'm sorry, I had to fix one MRX passive because we had burned the tweeter out. Uh, that was probably the biggest thing for the MRXs is burn tweeters. And once I realized that you could literally just open up the back because the thing was so large and just unscrew the tweeter, I stopped even sending those in. As far as what else are we sending in? Equipment wise, we will send in a mixer on occasion to get cleaned up. Just the contacts and all that stuff. We will send in controllers. For whatever reason, my partner is like a controller magnet for danger. He's had to fix his 1000 several times. He's in clubs, so a lot of liquid spilling on those and things like that. Um, and but that's it. Yeah, don't and turntables. You got to get those fixed on occasion. But that's it. Don't really have to do too much with controllers. I've never had to to send in my 1000 ever. And I had a record box 1000 where somebody spilled Coke, not the actual Coke, uh, in there, and it was crispy and crunchy for like 6 months. Still worked properly, but when I would turn that jog, um, then one day it started to get a little looser. I grabbed my deoxid, sprayed the hell out of it, and it still had that crunch. Like I would have to spray it every month or so. And then one day, it was all better. It like healed itself. So that was it. Yeah, haven't had any issues after that. Uh, okay, all right. Jay Buck, what did you think of the? I didn't see it, Jay. I was just talking about that. I didn't see it. You might have asked that. You might have heard me say it. Uh, SoundSwitch is less than ideal for some aspects of moving heads. Yeah, I agree 100%. Uh, do you have a DJ podcast that you listen to regularly? Says Christopher. I do not. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. But if I am going to listen to any podcasts, I do listen to. I listen to Road on occasion. Um, I don't really listen to podcasts. If I'm listening to a podcast, in all honesty, I want nothing to do with DJ stuff. I mean, normally speaking, my podcasts I listen to are like science podcasts, like talking about the edge of the universe and simulation theory and like multi worlds and I don't know, or I'll listen to like uh world economic collapses and stuff like that. In all honesty, yeah, my side ear is way different. I don't know. I've always loved documentaries too, so that's what I tend to go to. Okay. I grab specific gobos with static scenes. Burns up. No, I do that too. You can use an iPad app like Luminaire and send DMX controls. Yes, you can. I'm very aware. I've used tons of iPad apps. The only issue is is the wireless functionality. That's it. That's it. I would like one that goes into a actual controller or just like a Chevy DeFi, like a wireless bridge, so I can talk to all my stuff. That's it. That's my thing. Okay. SoundSwitch should make static looks button on the control ones be controls for gobos and prisms and like. That would be tough because, not every I mean, I guess technically if you're putting in the profile, it knows all of your gobos unless you swap them out. But that's definitely one option. Definitely an option. I mean, I would take that at a minimum, to be honest with you. Wall warts can be a necessary evil for audio equipment. Internal power supplies with either add or cost noise. True, very true. And look, you can have a wall wart in USB-C. I'm not saying that I don't prefer wall warts. But I know that if I'm using my Rev 7 and it's a USB version, I'm not getting power from my computer. It's still going to require its own external power. So I get that. I just want the less the better. Now, IEC is great, just because all of my other gear is IEC. So I know I will always have a plug. One of my biggest fears when I ever take any of like my 1000 or my Rev 7 and the 1000 and the Rev 7, I don't think they can even use the same power. I think it's a different port on the Rev 7, if I'm not mistaken. I know it's a different box, but I think it might be a different port. So I always get scared. Like, did I bring my cord? So I keep everything together in my bag. Which I'll have a video coming out next week about some stuff that will make everybody happy. Yeah. So yeah, but I know power is a requirement. But like, for instance, I hate the fact that that a lot of these speakers are going PowerCon and the lighting is going Nutric. Now I have unnecessary cords that I didn't need to have before. I don't want to run Nutric cables out of my moving heads. I'm fine with IEC, and now I just have to keep IEC together. You like, I have my VersaFlex is Nutric, and I keep that cable in the box. I don't even put it with my bag. If I take another bag or something like that, now I have no cable. Now I have no lights to run. I just want everything to have parity. That actually prevented me from buying certain speakers because of that. Honestly, I'd rather it's a lot of it is about convenience too. Okay. Another reason to get your hands on a WMX one. I agree. I need to talk to them. I do. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have my guy from Zounds send me one. I was gonna request a Roadcaster because I know he's got them there. But in all honesty, I haven't had a problem with my my Mixcast. I'm kind of tied in tight here, but this guy is my guy. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But I've been really happy with my Mixcast. The only thing that the Mixcast does not do is it does not have any channels that allow you to go stereo. Everything's mono. That's the only thing. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Maybe that's why Reloop hasn't released their latest control. No, Romeo. I wish it was as easy as that. Reloop just has their Mix on 8. They've had production issues with their manufacturing. As a matter of fact, I just got an email from them either yesterday or the day before yesterday saying that they finally, which is funny to me, because they were like, "Oh, we finally got some in. Are you so interested?" I'm like, I've been the one that's been emailing you guys for months. Yes, I'm interested. Send it to me. So I do have one coming at some point. I no longer kind of look towards like when it comes. If it shows up on my door, great. I will test it out and review it like I always do. But yeah, but it has nothing to do with USB-C. Although I do believe it has USB-C already built in. I thought it had USB-C to begin with. I thought that was one of the perks because it allows you to run your, like your iPad and stuff right through the box. I think it already has USB-C. Okay. Let's see here. Crispy Crunch Coke. I use large console, and even the emergent is amazing due to simplicity. Yeah, I'm gonna request one. I like Star Talk too. PJ. The only issue I have with Star Talk, I like to get a lot of things where I can just kind of close my eyes and just, kind of zone out. And sometimes Neil and his buddy can be a little off, and it just messes with like my relaxing time. I like a lot of British people. All the British ones that do documentaries, I'm all over that. Or science stuff, I'm all over that. Okay. DJ Bar in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a rare occasion. DJ Bar on YouTube on a DJ channel. I thought DJ Bar was transitioning into like floral arrangements. That's my guy though. That's my guy. By the way, who's going to Mobile Entertainment Expo? Who's going this year? Let me know, because I will be there. And I need to know who I'm hanging out with. That's what I need to know. Do you think there'll be a lot of new ILS gear at NAMM? I don't. I think. I mean, from what they already have, there's a lot that's already kind of positioned to come out. I do think they need a brighter, a bigger moving head. I think their mover, I think they're using like the 250. I think it's a 250, which is fine, but I still think they need like an ILS version of the 350. My biggest issue with ILS is not ILS. I actually love what it does. I love that it talks to all the other gear. That's important. I just don't want to have a gig bar move behind me. I don't think that's necessary. I think that's kind of a dumb move. I think they're limiting themselves. If they had told me that I could buy a box the size of like the Chevy DeFi, right? And that's the box I need, and I just plug it in and turn it on, and then it talks to all of my other fixtures. I'm more likely to buy that piece of gear over everything else. But the fact that they need me to have a gig bar move in there, I think it's dumb. I think, and look, they'll tell you this, and this is the genius and the not so genius of Chevy. They will say, well, this is for a specific type of people. This is for those people that don't want to think about anything. And, if you're trying to do big things and you want to have a light that shines in the center of the dance floor, this isn't for you. You're going to want to go DMX, and you can still DMX these lights, blah, blah, blah. Fine. That's logic. I get it. But why wouldn't I want a light show on my Intimidator 350s? Why wouldn't I want a light show with bigger lights? With my DeFi Chevy Freedom Pars? Why wouldn't I want it to talk to one another? Why would I want DMX when you already have a very good system built in? Because I've said it, the light shows coming out of the gig bar moves are excellent. They're some of the best programming I've seen. In fact, I will say that the light show coming out of the gig bar move is best on its own. Like, you shouldn't even use the control 1 for the gig bar move. It's definitely controllable, and there are profiles, but I find the profiles limiting. I think it does a lot more in its standard programs. I think the control 1 keeps everything on the channel, and you got all green, you got all red, you got all blue, but there's not a lot of deviation. I think you should just run it, on its own. Just an opinion though. Just an opinion. Okay. Majestic says, I use SoundCloud Premium for my streaming service alongside record pulls. I've noticed the recommendations have been on point after searching. Do you think this could help more into streaming? I've noticed the recommendations have been on point after searching. I don't really understand the question, and I'm trying to. Um, do I think could help more in streaming? Majestic, do me a favor, just rephrase the question a little bit. I'm having trouble understanding what you're really asking here. Yeah, Ableton Link, guys, for people don't realize you can use pretty much all the programs and use the Control One as long as you use it with Ableton Link, because it can attach to it. Okay. FlareCon is definitely limited. Definitely. In all honesty, I really do like Lightrider. I do. I just needed to have a better, a more consistent wireless connection. That's the weak link. Is that I wish I could hardwire it. Honestly, if they can make one where I can just hardwire my phone's ringing off the hook today, where I can hardwire, I'd be so much happier. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, PJ. All right, Chris in the mix. Good to see you. Max PL, I get what you're saying. Completely understand. And that's fine. That's fine. But I mean, look. I know that in manufacturing, the difference between putting in like a 1/4 inch output versus an XLR output is nominal. So, but when you're dealing with, hundreds and thousands of gear and you have a price point in mind, that might be the difference between getting 1/4 inch outputs or getting XLR outputs. So I get it, but I also feel like once you're paying a certain price, um, I don't think anybody's gonna be mad if they have IEC and it costs $5 more. And I think once you're at a certain price point, $5, $10, $20, not gonna change anything. It's not gonna make or break the product. My next purchase is SoundSwitch. Am I okay with the dongle or should I invest in the controller? You're very much okay with the dongle. Yeah, it's I find I mean, look, this Control One is they're both dongles, okay? They both are required in order to run SoundSwitch. But I think the only difference is if you are DJing and you don't want to have to tab over or pan over to the next page, SoundSwitch is for you. Like if I want to hit strobe, I can just hit the strobe button. If I want to hit all white, I can hit all white. If I want to quickly change my movement, I can do that. I don't have to go to the next page and change that. If iPad and their I forget what it's called, but the program that allows it to work as a secondary display that's built into it, you can actually touch the display with your Apple Pencil, which is annoying as hell to me. But if they could make it where you could just kind of touch it, I wouldn't even use the Control One. I would just use my iPad, extend it over, monitor extend it over. And yeah, technically I could do that right now, but now I got to take my mouse and I got to scroll all the way over to the next window. No thanks. Too much work. I'm good. What's today? I don't have any calls until 1, do I? Let me make sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Amiv says, what would cause my left channel, my Pioneer S11, to redline and distort? Reconnecting all wires and reinstall PC and drivers. Issue comes and goes. Does not happen when using my laptop. So your S1 left channel red lines and distorts when you're running analog. Is that what you're saying? But it doesn't happen when you're running computer. I would say make sure that your line versus digital are set properly, because on the S11, well, that's only on the microphone. It's only on the microphone. Hard to say. Hard to say. I'd need more information, but you know, it's a possibility. But if it works fine when you're using your, I'm confused at how it's happening, so it's hard for me to diagnose anything. So, maybe give me a little more information. Okay, Ruben asks, what do you think about controllers and all-in-ones having IC power, but can send power through USB-C to power the laptop at the same time as doing data for the software? I think it's great. I think there might be some on the horizon that do just that. So I think anything that you can have less plugs and, maybe you forget your plug and you can just run it through. I think it's all great. CT, go down to PSSL to try out. No, it's not how it works for me. I will never give a review on a product. I can get a first look like the Rain 4, different situation altogether, but I don't think I need the WMX on my stuff, me using it on a party to really give a quality review. I can't give a review with just, let me just check it out and everything's already synced up and everything's already perfect. That won't work for me. Okay. Have you ever heard the new line of Pioneer speakers yet? If so, where do they compare? I feel like you don't look at my videos because legitimately I've already done a video on those. And it's like the last video that I did. So it would be there. Now, I did a first look about 2 weeks ago. I am going to be using on a party. I actually used the 15s, the 15-inch subs and the 12s on a party already. They were fine. For the size of the room they were in, they did a fine job. We were pushing them to their maximums, but we didn't have a problem with them. They sounded good. It was never like I wish they had. They were just fine. The 18s is what I'm using this weekend, and it's a big room, so I'm using the 18s and the 12s. So that will really give me true indication of how they sound. So we'll see. But my initial review is already up. The Real DJ Special K. So make sure you're following. Make sure you have notifications on. So when I post, you do get that notification because I think that's important. Okay. I am Jeremy Waller in the building. What's going on? DJ Red, I get a ton of compliments when using my gig bar move. Program light shows are excellent. I don't have an issue with the gig bar move. My only issue with the move is that depending on the party, it may not be enough light. That's it. J Book says they're an eyesore. They can be, depending on who you are. And I don't use them for every party. Like my number is like 100 or less. Maybe even pushing up to 120, depending on the venue and everything. I bring my gig bar, 100 or less, guaranteed gig bar. I bring my Bose system, my gig bar, call it a day. If you're at 130 and higher, I bring my trusses and usually a bigger system. So your mileage may vary. Okay. Matthew says Light Rider with ADJ is actually pretty solid. Chevy screwed the pooch with FlareCon. With the iPad, it's really only used for uplighting pad. Okay. Here's my take on Light Rider with the. Hold on. Oh, I must have finally threw it away. I still have my my old DeFi. Anyway, I think I threw it away. Anyway, I don't use that anymore because I use the sticks. But Light Rider with ADJ works fantastic until it doesn't. That's the problem with it. It loses connection with the ADJ units all the time. And then it requires, like, it'll just randomly lose connection and you'll try to reconnect and it's like, what's the password? You're like, what the hell's the default password? I don't remember the default password. Okay. And your lights aren't talking properly. You're resetting the damn thing over and over again. And then finally it works again. That's the biggest problem with it. In all honesty, if for most people, and DJ Red with the super chat, thank you so much, fam. Appreciate you for that. Really, really appreciate you. For most people, in my opinion, I work as a DJ. I work every weekend. For most people that just want a system that's gonna work, if that connection was better and you have moving heads and maybe some uplights around the stage, Light Rider is the best app for you. It's the easiest to configure. It's got the settings right at your fingertips. It already has all the motions. You can set your parameters really quickly to say, stay in this box, never leave this box, so it knows what you can do. You can reverse those parameters on the other side, so then your other one is lined up perfectly. And if you have your uplights, in the truss, they will just communicate properly. That's so easy, so convenient. You want your gobos, you literally just hit the button and then you can choose whatever gobo you have in there. You want prism, you literally just slide your finger up. It's so easy. So easy. So that's the best one in my opinion. But the only problem that I have with it is if you are doing if you want to do more with color washes, uplighting, things like that, because it's limited in that. So let's say if I want to control the uplights separately, you can't control the uplights separately from the movers. Got it? So in other words, let's say for instance, they've booked, static lighting around the room and, or maybe they've booked something and, they want you to change the lights or they wanted to do a certain thing. Well, you can't really set that. So you're going to need something a little more powerful. That's it. That's the only issue. If they could add in a secondary channel just for static colors, static washes and things like that, it'd be the best app out there. Anyway. Oh God, I would love for it to be hardwired. Okay. DJ is the easiest DJ app ever. Yeah, yes and no. I mean, it's got its good and its bad. But yeah, but it's the easiest app that's in your pocket. Let's just leave it at that. There's nothing else. DJ Sergeant P asks the question that gets asked probably once every 3 or 4 Tech Thursdays. And that is, do you use a DBX drive rack or just use onboard adjustments on powered speakers? I've said this. I'm going to have to put a little thing on the bottom. And this is just my opinion. So don't let my opinion dissuade you from doing things. I think that DBX drive racks on passive systems are a godsend and a necessity. I think everybody should be. Why is my phone ringing so much today? This is insane. I think that every passive system should have something like that on there. They're fantastic. The problem is when you go to powered speakers already have built-in crossovers. They already have, built-in everything. They're already synced up and in tuned with your subs. I mean, you can go to a high and tell it, I'm using this sub, and then it will know and then tweak it for you. So a drive rack isn't as important on a powered system. I don't use them personally. I don't think you need to. There's there's the EQ settings in most systems now are so good. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. Okay. Let's see here. No one seems to hate the gig bar more than other DJs. Ernie says, not really a tech question, but a gig question. Now with people shooting at dances, would you feel unsafe at a venue that doesn't have security person at the door, such as weddings, graduations, etc.? No, I just don't take parties where shootings happen. Like if I'm concerned for my life, I'm just not going to do it. You know, this is insane. Insane. Anyway, and it's insane because if you call my voicemail, the first thing out of the ring says, "Hey guys, schedule a call and then we can talk then." And so when I see people like this who've called back 4 times while I've been on this call, it really does aggravate me because they're just saying, "I know what you said, I just don't care," and that bothers me. Okay. Yeah. Now, having said that, I don't think I've even worked at a school that hasn't had a security guard. But, most of my schools are in affluent communities. So my concern about getting shot is very, very low in general. And I do a lot of private schools and things like that. So I don't have that issue. You have a PC and you're getting distortion, could be a driver issue. But did he answer any more? Let me see here. Using DVS, I tried the needles and I tried. So it's on DVS only when you're using it. Yeah. I don't have that, Matthew. My light writer is not solid. Using GVS, I tried the needles and I tried the new control vinyl also. It could be. I see. So you're telling me then, Amev, that when you plug in your computer on the S11 and you play internal, you don't get distortion. But when you use your vinyl, you get distortion, and you get that chances are is definitely going to be your needles or your RCAs. First thing to make sure that it is your specific channel is to switch out the RCAs. Take the ones from your left turntable and just swap them. Play sound then. If you're now getting distortion on your left one, then you know that it's the turntable specifically, and it's your needles, your RCAs, your bad ground. I know that I know that like with my PLXs, they require a ground. Without a ground, they sound like crap. So every turntable are different. I don't have that much with Techniques. They're much better at kind of masking the fact that there isn't a ground, but that's what I would do first. Okay. Maestro DMX. Yeah. Isn't Maestro is WMX, right? The WMX one, same thing. Biggie Small says, I see you repping the DMS shirt. How do you feel about their service versus DJ City? So this is actually a running joke. Okay. In all honesty, first off, I will say I like DMS. DMS has a really good pool. It doesn't look as clean as like a BPM Supreme or a Beat Source. I'm not Beat Source, or a DJ City, but the content is there. They got the content, so there's nothing wrong with it. But I wear this DMS shirt because they actually send me stuff. There is a running joke between DJ City and I, because for whatever reason, they never send me any product. I do have a Beat Source mug, but I think that's just because they wanted to, advertise Beat Source. Um, and those are my people too, like personal friends. Every time I go to DJ City, because I'll show up every so often, especially if they're doing, you know, live show or they have somebody that's coming in. And I'm like, dude, where's my stuff? Where's my shirt? Where's my hat? Something. Oh, yeah, it's coming. Never comes. So I rep for people who send me stuff, you know? So if DMS send me stuff, I'm going to wear it. In fact, DMS sent me a full on kit and it's not even my birthday. Well, I guess technically it was my birthday when they sent it to me. I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but I got a windbreaker jacket. I got several new hats. As a matter of fact, I have a hat that is hold on. Huh. Oh, okay. Oh, the other one's in the other room. But they sent me new. The other one is in the other room, but they sent me new hats. I got a windbreaker. They sent me a special one with orange trim because they know I love orange. And so that's in the another room. They didn't make them. And I saw the hat. I'm like, dude, I need one of those. So they got me one of those. And let me see if I can find it. Hold on. It should be right around the corner here. Okay, so yeah, so this is the hat that they sent me, and am I in? I don't even think my focus is on. Huh. I'm very lucky that I was in focus because my manual focus was on. Anyway, so yeah, this is his hat. I love this one because of the orange. Because I'm a huge orange guy. So sent me two hats. They sent me a couple of coffee cup mugs and a windbreaker. And for whatever reason, I kid you not, they sent me like it must have felt like 8 USB sticks. So I'm fully fine with USB now. Like I got enough USB for the rest of my life. Yeah, and then the windbreaker and then a whole bunch of stickers. So they didn't need to, but you know, they did it because they wanted to. So I appreciate that, honestly. Okay, a few more, then I definitely got to get out of here. I believe JBL is using DSP from the drive rack in their speakers unless it was Crown. Oh, you know what? You're probably right. And it makes sense because in all honesty, like I've said before, my SRX and 828 top and bottom, some of the best out there. Sounds the best. Never had an issue with it. Never had to EQ anything coming out of those speakers. So, yeah. Okay. DJ Cool Cliff in the building. We at DMS care about Cleveland Terry. I know you do. Thank you. Like, give you. I mean, yeah. I mean, Beat Source did send me to Beyond the Music. So there's that. But every time I head into Vegas, I always meet up with my guy Warren, you know, and we go have dinner or something. Yeah, they're just good people. They're just good people, just regular people trying to run a business. Tractor doesn't read Serato crates either. Well, we know, but that's Tractor, Mixmaster G. Nobody cares about Tractor. Uh, okay. Did you ever have a client who did not finally pay the bill? Of course we have. Um, w- I don't get that often. And the reason why is because in my contract, it is required that they pay 2 weeks before the event. If we prearrange that they will pay the day of, in my contract, it states if you don't pay before we start your party, we don't start your party. And depending on the client, because it's only happened like one or two times where we literally had to like go after this person and we're like, we're never doing that again. So we've held parties. We've held starting parties before because the client did not give us the final balance. And you know which clients are more likely to try to do that than others. I don't have to tell you that. You know which ones they are. So there's some people I put my foot down on. And there's other people that I'm one client in particular, because we can pay via credit card, we can pay via check or, money order. If I don't trust the client, I mean, I had one where I walked up to the client. I'm like, "Hey, you have a final balance." It was a big final balance, so it wasn't like "Oh, you owe us another $1,000." It was like, four grand more. So I'm like, "Oh, there's a final balance." And it's like, "Oh, I think I paid it." I'm like, I pull up literally my billing app. Like, "No, you didn't." "Oh, I thought I paid it. Let me just talk to my wife real quick." Okay, and we got through the opening dance set and still no payment. And I walked up to my client at his dinner table, pulled him to the side, and said, "Hey, I'm going to need you to pay your final balance right now, or we're stopping the music." And wasn't rude. It was just hey, the contract is the contract. So that's it. And then he literally picked up his phone and paid it via credit card right there. It was done. I was like, "I got it. Thank you so much. Let's move on." Some people will say, "Well, you're embarrassing your client," but I'm saying your client shouldn't put you in a situation where you have to feel uncomfortable even asking for the money. So you're not embarrassing your client. Your client is embarrassing themselves. Simple as that. Okay. And DJ Audio one, yeah, it was so much fun. Had a blast at Beat Source Beyond the Music. I don't know when they're ever going to do another one, but it was fun doing it. All right, let's see here. Megawatt the DJ in the building. I don't see anybody that's going to Mex. Nobody's going to Mex this year. Nobody's going to mobile entertainment. Let me know. Okay. Beyond needed more than just stage talks. Yeah, you know what? I don't think it was it, it would have been better and they'll probably do this in the next one if they actually had like breakout rooms because the talks were amazing. Everybody that spoke, it was great. But they two things. They needed breakout rooms and they needed the ability to bleed over a little bit because I feel like sometimes the conversations were really just getting started. People had a whole bunch of questions and they're like, "Okay, well, everybody's got to go because in 2 minutes we have the next talk coming." So I think some people were disappointed because of that. Um, so I think it would be better to have one talk, then like three or four breakout rooms that start like right at the end of the talk. That way, if you do bleed over uh, with the main talk, them going into the breakout room won't be so bad. So and then you can maybe have like a 15-minute or half-hour window in between each like main talk. That's what I would do. Something like that. But still, overall, great experience. I actually have the full video. I got to post it of our interview. But great stuff. Great stuff. Okay. A couple more questions. We'll take it till 12:30 and then I got to get out of here cuz I have to eat and stuff. Okay. Dustin Masters says, suggestions on how to ease into requiring larger deposits versus $100 to $300, or just jump in and start it. Dustin Masters, that's actually easy. Just set your deposit to 30%. That's it. Just a fixed 30%. Whatever the cost of the package, it's 30%. Now, our packages are all, for the most part, above 3K. So for anything on those packages, we just do a standard deposit of $1,000. No, it doesn't matter how high it is. For our out of town events, we have a payment structure that is different. So we have the deposit of 1,000, and then they have to make an additional payment around the 2-month mark so we can book our rooms and all of that stuff for travel. But in general, if it's a wedding, say the weddings fall under 3, then yeah, it's 30%. Because even then at 30%, a $3,000 wedding is going to be $1,000 deposit. So, but if I'm doing like a one man that's like, $1,000 DJ only for, some Friday event, 30%. So they're paying, $300. So it just depends on what your balance is. Or I know some DJ companies that ask for 50%. So it's really just up to you. Just set the rate and keep the rate the same. That's all. What are your thoughts on the RCF TT808 AS TT? I don't have an opinion on them because I don't have them, because RCF doesn't send me stuff like they send Jason stuff. I will say that RCF makes really good speakers, and in general, I think the quality is fantastic. I think that just like any other company, some of their speakers aren't worth some of their speakers at their lower price points. You're better off buying a different speaker altogether. That's my only thing about RCF. I know they try to come in with like, oh look, we're just as cheap as somebody else, or like a QSC or whatever, but they don't sound as good. So if you don't sound as good, you're not the same. So, like in order to get the same quality from like a QSC 118, you would need to spend 3,000 plus on an RCF sub. Now, I know some people try to tell me that they have they try to tell me that their 15 sounds as good as an 18-inch SRX 900, which I don't believe. That's amazing if that 15 does sound as good as it does. But I just, as some people will say, there's only so much you can do out of a box. It's physics. You can only make that box sound so good because it's a box. And the smaller that box, the less opportunity you have, to really push it. That's just facts. Now, I know there are companies like Bass Boss that do an amazing job with their speakers too. But having said that, their speakers are a grip. A Bass Boss sub, even like their 15 is going to cost you $3,000, or 18s are like, I think around $4,000 for one. So it's like, I would rather spend less and get quality that I know works. No, don't get me wrong. I would love to have a 12 that sounds like an 18. I would absolutely love that. You give me a 12 that sounds like an 18, that's less room in my truck. Oh, that'd be amazing. It's just not realistic. Not realistic. I think even the 15s, because that's their whole thing. They're like, no, our 15 sounds as good as an 18. Maybe. But it just depends. I got to get out there. It's got to be, in the rooms that I'm in. I got to hear it. A 2x12 can get down to probably, you're saying from 118. Which I believe. I do believe, yeah, a 2x12 can sound like 118, but it won't sound like two 18s. That's just in my opinion anyway. I have yet to see that. I have yet to see it. Okay. On the subject of payment, have you tried any of these Afterpay kinds of things? They let the customer split the cost in the smaller payments, but it's handled by the payment company. No, I haven't. For a couple of reasons. One, that's profit that you're losing, just by trying to make things more convenient. We already have it in our system. Look, these people book a year out, 1 to 2 years out. Okay, so if they want to make payments, I've had clients drop $150 every month. Every month, if they want to make payments on it to make it easier, we don't stop them from doing that. They want to send us a check-in of, $75. We don't stop them. We just apply it to their account. Anything you do after the fact, you are gambling with your money. Okay? Because think about all those Afterpay systems. Think about all those credit systems. How many times do people just stop paying for stuff? That's affecting your bottom line. So what's the point of giving them this extra when your services are already done? Your services are done. You can't take it back. Photos, I can say if I'm a photographer and they don't pay their final balance and they're like, we can't pay you for 2 months. I can be like, well, that's fine. You're not getting your pictures for 2 months. I have leverage. I have something to hold over their heads. I don't have that with a DJ. I'm done. I did the party. It's over. And I find that the people that you do let wait and pay are the first ones to complain about anything and everything that happened on the party to try to get you to reduce that final balance. But if they've already paid, job is done. Typically, they're not asking for money back. But if they hold the money in their hands, they're like, oh, and then this slide didn't work as well. And then this thing on the opening thing, you did this. And this one, no. Bad for business, bad for you. So I say stand strong on getting these people to pay before the event. Because I know what people are thinking. Oh, well, maybe they'll spend more money if they can have a breakdown, if they can have a breakout. That's fine. That's what credit cards are for. Utilize the credit card aspects. Let them pay on their credit cards. That's the thing. And we don't need that credit card charge too. That goes into the balance. That gets applied. The only time we don't is if you use like Zelle or you send us a check. That's it. Anything else, there's a 3% charge on it, extra, that we just put on as a default. And then if you pay by check, we'll take it off. That's it. And it's clear on their contract exactly how it works. Ask, instead of 18s, how do you feel about 3 or 4 smaller 10s or 12s? So this is a thing. This is a thing that I know a lot of companies do. It's not for me. I'm not the only one. So I just don't think, I know the point. They're making a surround sound. So they're doing 5 or 6 subs around the room. Then they don't have to play it as loud, and then you can get more control. I get it. That's fine. I'm not doing it. To me, I mean, if you're doing a large production, you have a humongous room and you're worried about sound and people being able to hear, 100%. Bring in more speakers. But for most people, if you're doing a 20 by 20 dance floor and you got 200 people, you don't need to run 4 corners. You don't need to have multiple subs. I would rather just have 2 big subs that hit on the dance floor, because the bottom line here is that, 10s are not going to hit like an 18 is going to hit. So you're going to have a nice, full, warm, enveloped sound. It's never going to hit you in the chest. And I need my music to hit people in the chest. I see people all the time. They're like, those RCF 12s are great. I'll just buy 6 of them. Like, you're really going to spend like, 10K on a system when you can just get a bigger one? Because you still got to load these things. Now you got 12. Now you got all these extra speakers you got to load in. So, more power to you if you want to do it. That's just not for me. Biggie Small says, Miley Cyrus Flowers thoughts. I don't have an opinion. It's just like any other Miley Cyrus music. It's fine. Are people asking for Miley Cyrus on my parties? No. Do I have teenagers and stuff like that are on every party? Yes. Are they asking for it? No. So I don't really care. I'm never going to play Miley Cyrus just because. So the song is fine though. It's fine. You know, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's a heater." I'm like, "No." I don't think you're using that word properly. uh okay. Let's see here. Ruben, what do you suggest to avoid guests from placing their drinks on subs or to prevent them from spilling on them? There's nothing you can do. I just move them. And depending on the speaker, I know like which ones will do what damage to what. So if I see somebody putting a wine glass on my SRX, I walk over, legitimately pick it up and hand it back to them. And like it's gonna break anyway. So yeah, you just gotta tell people, nope, can't do it, can't do it. You know, but that's what I'm saying. Like if it's my Bose and they put a regular vodka tonic on my speaker, not moving. I think it's pretty much set. Google Meet leak. What is this lady talking about? Okay. I do have to go because I have to answer all these dumb people. They're not all dumb, but sometimes I feel like it's not that they're dumb. I feel like a lot of the newer clients, the newer generation of clients, don't read. They don't read and they don't listen. So even though you're explaining things to them in great detail, nobody's listening. I've not done the giveaway yet, Charlie, because I haven't had time. That's it. They're literally sitting in my storage unit, but I have not done a giveaway yet. It can help to have a cocktail table right next to the speaker, give people an alternative. Yeah, I mean you can do that, Philip. I mean, I'm not the party planner. You know, that's the party planner's job. And the chances are they don't have like a random high top just sitting there, you know, that I can just pull over. And if I pull it over, now I'm pissing off party planners for my own thing, or I can just say, get your thing off my speaker. I kind of like them to know that anyway. And in all honesty, I've seen tables near me, and guess what? The drink is still on my speaker. So I would rather give it up and look at his face and be like, take your drink back. This is the petty in me. It's the petty. Okay. Last couple of questions and I gotta get out of here. The spink drilled all over my sub. Yeah, just move it. Seen a YouTube video of a sound couple. They put plastic wedges on the subs so nothing can. Okay, I get that. And that's fine. That's fine. I mean, it's funny to me because in reality, if you're really thinking about speaker placement, the best place for most subs is not parallel to your DJ setup. So like say you have a facade, you have your speakers and your highs right next to it. Technically speaking, you should place those subs and those highs back, more like behind you. Not so much behind you, but like on the sides of you, but back towards the walls. You're going to get a better impact from them being closer to the walls than you are from them being isolated. Because obviously the way bass runs, and that's why you can change the polarity and you can run them in cardioid mode to get them to have a better response earlier on the dance floor. They just look so damn ugly. So I can't run cardioid mode because they're ugly. And until they can make a cardioid mode where the backside looks as good as the front side, it's never going to happen for me. Never. Looks like crap. Wouldn't do it. And I don't even know why they would think that that's a good idea. You have speaker pole mounts in the subs for a reason, because you're running your highs out of there. So how in the world do they expect you to do cardioid mode if they also expect you to run your highs in there? It's just dumb. It's just dumb. So the secondary solution is to back your speakers up towards the walls. So then that way, when that bass, it's going to run through the back. It runs through the front and it also runs through the back. You ever stand behind speakers and you're like, wow, it sounds so good back here. Well, you put them on a wall, that space is going to bounce off the wall and back out to the dance floor. And then your optimal bass area, where the optimal sound of the bass is usually like, 15, 20 feet. So what that means is if you have your speakers back, maybe even like, 3 or 4 feet behind you, then by the time it hits the dance floor, it's literally the best, literally the best sound. Because you would run them mono from a console. It's good for all uses. I might have missed the top part of that. Yeah. Oh, I know they're great for live sound. Yeah. I get that. I completely understand why it's done. I just think they need a better solution for how it looks. What speakers do you suggest for a beginning DJ? I suggest getting whatever speakers you can afford, but I have not used them. I've heard the ICOAs are really good, very good entry level speaker, which is by LD. That's their entry level brand. As far as subs go, I do like. As far as subs go, I like the Pioneer ones. I think those are a very affordable system as far as those go. I like, as far as tops go, I'm a big fan of, I actually like the tops coming off of those Pioneers. That 10-inch top is amazing. It really is amazing. Yeah, they tried to send them to me, and it serves no purpose for me because I am never going to use a speaker that small for me on another event. So essentially, I'm just holding storage for a speaker that I'm never going to use. So I told them no. If I can't use it on a main party, then I don't want it. The Pioneer ones, because they had 18s, gave me a bigger opportunity. And I had never really run 15s. So it was another good opportunity. But yeah, in general, if you can't send me something that I'm going to use, it's fine. If QSC made an 18-inch version of the KS212C, then great. That's the 212C. That's the one that runs in cardioid mode in the single sub. I don't even know how they'd make a 18 cardioid mode that isn't humongous. So I don't even think it's possible. Honestly, I don't think it's possible. I know that I don't think that I would personally want it. I know it's stupid. I'd rather spend money on the second sub. I like the uniformity of having the second sub. I know some people keep their stuff through their facade, so they have their speakers and the subs like right in front. So it's that single sub in front. But I do like the uniformity of having the tops right on the subs. I do like that. So I don't know. Everybody's different. Yeah. So if I'm going to if I'm anywhere between a 15 and a 12, I'm just taking my Bose. I have my Bose system for the smaller parties, 120 and below. Depending on the room, sometimes it's 150 if the room it's small enough. Anything above that, and I'm bringing my my normal main system. Which right now, at this moment, as of today, I have my SRXs and the 818s. I'm going to slide that down to my other DJs because we have 7 systems. I'm going to slide that down to my other DJs to get rid of an older Eon system that we have. And I'm going to go with the QSCs. I know. Why not the RCFs, bro? Why not the EVs, bro? I've physically heard the QSCs on a party. I've never heard the RCFs on a party. I've heard them in convention halls, just like I've heard baseballs in convention halls. I've heard EV in convention halls, but the QSCs are they're quality. They're quality. That's it. They're quality. So that's where I'm going. 12.2s and the 118s. So and I will use them. So the reason why I'm buying them is because I'm on the quest for the best smaller system out there. Because yeah, I mean, I could bring my 828 everywhere, my SRX, but that's not going in my truck. So the 818s aren't good enough for me personally. They sound fine, but they're not good enough compared to the 828. The 828 is an amazing subwoofer cabinet. The 900s are amazing. They're just too big. They're too big and they're too heavy. So I don't want to have to put those in my truck every single weekend, which leaves a few options. And the QSC is one of those options. It's a very compact 18-inch sub. The power that it puts out is excellent. It competes very well with the 900 series. But it competes well to the point of like, hey, you got 200 people in a big ass room. It sounds really good. The 900, their headroom is stupid big. So it won't compete for that. But in general, for a standard party, 200 people, 200 plus, yeah, that system will do just fine. If I got 300, or more, yeah, I'm going to bring back my 828 or those 900s. The 900s to me sound as good as the 828 cabinet, but in single speakers. That's the difference between that. So I can't even imagine what that 928 sounds like. The 900 is already loud enough. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Lionel says, RCF users kill me. Cannot understand the hard-on everybody has for them. They don't seem special. I think it's snobbery. There's a little bit of snobbery. It's the same people, not the same people, but the same type of people that will say, oh, well, I drive a Tesla. It's blah, blah, blah. And then you learn about Tesla has a very poor build quality and they're in the shop a lot, but people don't want to talk about that. And I'm not saying that's RCF. I'm just saying that people, they get attached to a certain product and then you can't tell them anything else. And that's fine. But I've talked to actual retailers that sell RCF products and sell other things too. And I've said to them flat out, okay, this is what I'm looking for. This is the price point that I'm paying. And then in RCF, this is the price point. And they flat out said, well, yeah, you're not going to find a sub at that price point as good as the 118. You'd have to go up to this one. And that one is, $1,000 to $1,500 more. So is it a better speaker? Maybe. Is it worth spending another $2,000 to $3,000 just to get a little bit better speaker? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. In my opinion. Use that money for something else. Use that money and buy a damn photo booth. If nobody's going to know the difference, it's stupid. Now, if you're sponsored and they send you stuff all the time, rave about it. Do your thing. But I just think that at what we're playing and in every single hall and in every single room and having different variations, you're never going to optimize those RCFs to play perfectly anyway. You're still playing, some of you, 128 kilobit MP3s. You telling me your RCF is going to improve the sound of those things? No. So be quiet. You're still playing MP4s. You're still playing, lower resolution. So okay. Again, last time I will say this. It's the 4K TV situation. Okay? The dilemma. You go into Best Buy. You go into whatever electronic store you have, your Targets or whatever, and you look at all the monitors. And then you say, oh, look at that OLED. That OLED is better than all of these other ones. And then I say, yeah, it is. Well, but that one's $2,000 more. I can't afford that one. You're like, but look how good it looks compared to this 4K LCD or the micro LED or whatever. Look at that one. That one doesn't look as good as this one. This one looks great. The problem is you're comparing side by side. And you're never comparing side by side when you're working or when you get home. So you buy that micro LED screen because that's what you could afford. It was $1,000 less, and you put it in your room and you hang it up, and then you walk out of the room, you turn it on, and that screen looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. You're like, oh my God, look at the picture quality. I can't believe how good this thing looks in my house. That other monitor looked better, but it doesn't look better when you're really operating in the real world. Now, if you had hung that LED TV up, would it have been better? Of course, but you're not going to notice it because the other screen, even though it's not as good as that one, is still really, really good. So you're still getting really, really good, and you're saving, maybe $1,000 or more on it. That's the same thing with speaker systems. That's the same thing. Once you get to a certain price point, all the speakers are really, really good. It's just smaller increments of better, which is why my RCF guy was like, yeah, it's not something you can really put on paper. If you can't put it on paper, then you really can't really do a good comparison. Yes, they sound good. I did the speaker shootout when I was at Harvest of Sound on the column arrays. The column arrays sounded amazing clarity. That LD Maui sounded pretty damn good too. So again, once you get to a price point, they're all pretty good. And even so, you get to a lower price, but some of those speakers are really good and shooting above their pay grade just because. So that's all I'm saying. Keith says, well, RCF did make amps for the original Mackeys. Amps are just one piece though. And I guess it depends. Were they making them for the thumps? I'm kidding. I kid. Okay, last question. Do you have any suggestions for PAs to play vinyl, especially like oldies? Would you use these same types of speakers as mentioned with some kind of EQing device? You should be able to use your mixer to EQ. You shouldn't need anything special to do vinyl, in all honesty. You should be just fine. Yeah. And as Philip said, just good vibration, isolation for your turntables. Exactly. So maybe don't run the MK7s. I rock the the 12.2s with 4 Yorkville PS15 subs, and that does it for my smallers in New York. Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing I will tell you, you don't have to buy the same. Everybody's always about this uniform. And while uniform might be better as far as like tying in the high and the low, it doesn't affect the high and the low. You just have to EQ it yourself. But if you decided to buy, the 12.2s in Yorkville or 12.2s and some bass boss 15s, you're still going to get the same punch. I'm not a loyalist that says you have to have the same highs match your bottoms, your tops. I don't think it matters. Okay. I appreciate your opinion, but most of us in Southern California don't do gigs west of the 405. So security is the main concern. Now, you can't say that. You can't just say most of us don't do it around the 405. I know lots of DJs that operate all through the valley, all through, Palmdales, and we used to do tons of school parties at, in Palmdale and Lancaster. I don't want to assume, and I don't assume that one area is safer than another area. I don't assume that. But I don't know that I would. You have to do what's right for you. You have to do what makes you feel safe. And if you need a security guard in your party, that's fine. I mean, in all honesty, these school parties aren't paying much anyway. So I'd rather keep my life and avoid that $500 than, have to get shot up. So, you gotta, your mileage may vary, is what I always say. You gotta do what's best for you. Okay. I think I answered all the questions. I think I did. Perfect. Yeah, I think I did. I think we're good. Okay, so longer show, but that's okay. I enjoyed every minute of the show. Make sure that you are following me on obviously on my IG. If you want to help the channel out, go ahead and drop down and click on that member or run a super chat in, because that always helps the channel and helps me, do things. So I appreciate anybody that is able to spend some of their hard-earned funds on hopefully the quality of this show, because I think there is quality in the show. And yeah, it's just nice to be able to be appreciated. Okay. Last two questions. Ruben, how do you feel about doing gigs just for fun on off days? I don't have time. It's how I feel. So the only time I'm doing gigs just for fun is if I'm DJing a nightclub. That's it. But yeah, typically speaking, if I want to DJ for fun, I'll get on Twitch. But yeah, if I got to bring equipment and take it somewhere, you're going to pay me. That's it. So my time is valuable. State Farm, should I upgrade from PC DJ Red version? I have never touched PC DJ, so I don't have an answer for you. That's one of those softwares along with Tractor that I've never touched. So I don't have an opinion on that. Maybe somebody can answer in the chat if you should, but I don't know. Is the Behringer X Air X18 mixer better than the Drive Rack? I don't know. I will say this. Behringer makes very good copycat products. So if there is one, I'm sure it's fine. Is the Drive Back better? Guaranteed it is. Because Behringer is a copycat. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that is what they do. So I would still say the Drive Rack is probably better. And I don't know. I'm really big about my audio chain. So if I'm doing a live event, I just feel like you should put your best foot forward. That's it, in my opinion. Okay. Cleveland Hope Ball as well. Checking in from Vegas. Pulling a long day. DJ Repeat in the building. Good to see you. Maybe I'll see you at what time's my first call? My first call is 1. I gotta go. Maybe I will see you at Mex. All right, so we are going to head off. The good news is I don't have to actually raid anybody. That's always good. That's always a thing. Get to the show. There we go. I want to thank everybody for hanging out today. I don't even know what my number was. I never look at the number. Make sure you guys, 97. Pretty good for 2 hours of watch time. I appreciate that. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Very important. Keeps the thing moving through. And because I haven't really been putting out a lot of content, these live videos do help just keep my channel relevant. I have videos I need to do. I just haven't had time. When I tell you, when I have 14 events over a weekend and Super Bowl and things like that, like I just don't have time. And all the calls, I am struggling with time. Struggling. So I got to work out still. Struggling with time. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody. You guys have been amazing. I will see you all next week. Make sure you're getting on my Twitch, because I might be DJing on Twitch just for fun. And hopefully we'll see you guys next week. So thanks for hanging out. Make sure you watch any video that comes out. Very important. And there's some old videos you need to watch. Watch them. There's plenty of videos. And I got tons of gig logs that I know people could watch. So enjoyed the show. I will see you guys soon. Have a great day. Peace out.